A Southern Kentucky constable charged in a man's shooting death goes before a judge, while the victim's fiancé looks on. We'll have the latest from the courtroom. The backlash over anti-gay and anti-transgender legislation in Georgia and North Carolina has led to one governor planning to veto a controversial bill and another being sued.
Coming up, several lane closures are in effect at the Versailles Road and New Circle Road interchange.
This is WKYT News at 4:30.
Good afternoon to you. Amber Philpott and Sean Moody reporting. Sam has the day off. A constable charged in a deadly shooting in Southern Kentucky was back in court today.
Bobby Smith is accused of gunning down Brandon Stanley inside a Laurel County store earlier this month. He's charged with second-degree manslaughter. WKYT's Phil Pendleton is at the Laurel County Courthouse with the latest on this case. That's our top story at 4:30.
There are still an awful lot of questions as to what exactly happened inside that East Bernstadt store on Friday night, March the 4th. We know that the shooting victim, Brandon Stanley, had outstanding warrants on him and that the constable, Bobby Joe Smith, had been looking for him. But the victim's fiancée says she simply does not understand what happened that night that led to her fiancé being shot and killed inside that store.
He was doing everything he was supposed to. Everything a husband should do, he was doing. When before he wasn't like that. He's got a bad past, but not violence.
The next court date will be on April the 25th. Now, Smith's attorney said he did not want to comment on the case until then. He says they may learn more about what happened that night and the allegations when some lab work comes back. He says he may comment at that time. In Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Well, thank you. The shooting happened after police say that Stanley once ran from them. His fiancée says she does not know why he ran from police back then. The up and down weather of spring continues to start the new work week. After a beautiful Easter weekend, that cold air has returned.
So the big question, how long before we warm back up? Let's check in now with meteorologist Jim Caldwell. Hey, Jim.
And we are going to warm things up rather quickly here, guys, over the next couple of days. Starting with tomorrow, we're probably back in the upper 50s, close to 60 degrees in most locations out there. And then we'll get even warmer toward the middle of the week before another dip, of course. Look at all of our camps we've got pulled up across Kentucky. We are taking you from Lexington to Corbin, Jackson, everywhere in between, and you are going to notice one thing. A lot of us are finally getting in on more in the way of sunshine throughout the entire area. And Moorhead camp is pointed straight down, too, by the way, at this point, so you can see it looking down the tower. But anyway, even out as far as Jenkins there in southeastern Kentucky, starting to climb the old hill to head over into Virginia there. That's where that view is coming from. 55 in Lexington, 54 in Richmond. You're going to find those mid-50s here. You work your way into the cloud cover. Covington, Maysville, even Mount Sterling, Moorhead, you shave a few degrees off because we're not seeing quite as much sunshine in those locations. So the cloud cover holding thick. I mentioned that over the weekend. If we hold on to the clouds long enough, we'll stay in the low 50s, but mid-50s certainly a good possibility. Let me show you just plain old radar data. Well, you see what's going on out there. After last night's showers and thunderstorms, we are quiet, and we'll probably be quiet in that department until maybe late Wednesday night into your Thursday. That's our next big system, and we will track it hour by hour coming up in a few minutes.
Jim, thank you. The battle over the budget is ramping up in Frankfort, where lawmakers only have 2 more weeks to approve the budget. The governor's proposal includes steep spending cuts for a number of agencies like state offices, higher education, and the judicial system. Agencies that hoped they would get a boost from the budget, like the Public Defender's Office, were devastated when additional funds were slashed from the budget last week.
It is very challenging now to be in a position where we don't have that funding, but I remain hopeful this week to obtain some money to be able to hire these 44 public defenders, because it's going to be a very high value for the public.
Court administrators throughout the judicial system are now bracing for more bad news. The justice system could be hit with a 9% cut under the budget proposal. Amber is at the live desk with our Mark Barber, who's been investigating the financial concerns in Kentucky's courts. He has more on this story he's working on for 6.
Sean, thank you. Let's talk about it. What could these actual cuts mean to our courts?
Well, if the budget goes through as it's proposed right now, they would be facing a 9% across-the-board cut. And the Chief Justice says that if that passes, that about 600 court workers could lose their jobs. And judges that I've spoken with, they say it could go even further than that because drug courts and mental health courts, a lot of them rely on resources that are supplied by the state as well. So they think that those could also suffer if this proposal passes.
So when it comes to the additional funds that lawmakers have taken from the public defender's office, what are their concerns there for them?
Well, they had hopes that they might be getting some extra money through this budget cycle. That was one of those things that was erased last week when the House and the Senate were going back and forth. They say compared to other states, they're working about 140 cases at one time, some of them, whereas private attorneys, they might only have 20 cases at one time. So they say it's clear that they are overburdened, they're overworked. And so that slows down the whole system every time that the judges and the prosecuting attorneys, they start to get hung up on those cases. So they think that this is going to continue to really burden the legal system.
When can we get a better idea of what this budget is actually going to look like?
Well, that's the question, Amber. They have until April 15th, of course. That's the latest that they can wait. That's the end of the General Assembly. However, they've given themselves a self-imposed deadline. Midnight tonight. We'll see if they keep it. They want to try to get the budget on the governor's desk by Wednesday. If that's the case, we could be seeing what's going to happen here with these financial concerns in the next few days.
We're going to be waiting and seeing, but we are going to see your story tonight at 6. Mark, thank you. Sean?
Mark, Amber, thank you. There will be no religious liberty law in Georgia. The state's governor says he will veto a state bill over concerns that it would discriminate against the gay community. Omar Villafranca reports.
Georgia Governor Nathan Deal made clear Monday morning where he stands on a state religious liberty bill.
I will veto House Bill 757.
The bill, called the Free Exercise Protection Act, would allow religious officials to refuse to perform same-sex marriages and faith-based organizations to deny services or employment to people who violate their, quote, sincerely held religious belief.
I do not think that we have to discriminate against anyone to protect the faith-based community in Georgia.
Some in the religious community clash with those who were against the legislation. Opponents claim the bill allows discrimination, but backers say it would have protected people's religious views. 21 states around the country have passed similar laws.
We're going to continue to press to make sure we have the same protections in our state law that citizens of other states have.
Studios behind movies like Ant-Man have enjoyed sizable tax incentives to film in Georgia. Some of them, along with other major companies, including Viacom, Delta, Coca-Cola, Unilever, and Intel, threatened to boycott the state if the law was passed. Omar Villafranca, CBS News, Dallas.
Supporters say they are exploring how to get the legislature back for a special session to try to override that veto. Part of a busy Lexington road will be closed today and tomorrow because of construction.
The closures are part of an ongoing road project involving Versailles Road and New Circle. WKYT's Mike Byer has the traffic alert.
The ongoing widening and reconstruction project here at the Versailles Road and New Circle Road interchange will result in some lane closures for the rest of today and tomorrow. The inbound and outbound left lanes of Versailles Road closed this morning and won't reopen until tomorrow at 6 p.m. This is due to the construction of the flyover ramp. Then from 7 tonight until 7 a.m. tomorrow, the right lane of the inner loop will be closed on the Versailles Road outbound ramp. Traffic will still have access to the ramp during this time. And lastly, beginning at 10 tonight until 5 a.m. tomorrow, the ramp from the inner loop of New Circle Road to inbound Versailles Road will be closed. Now, during these time frames, a reduced speed limit of 45 miles per hour will be in effect. The Kentucky Department of Highways says if you must travel through this area to use extreme caution. They say this project is right on schedule.
We have not had many problems at all with this project. It's actually gone very smoothly. When you think about the amount of traffic and the work that has been done and is still being done for the area.
Now, Highway Department leaders say the anticipated date of completion for this entire project is September 30th. In Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Rock climbers hope a new study of their economic impact in the Red River Gorge will help make the case for opening more public land in that area for climbing. Researchers from Eastern Kentucky University surveyed more than 700 on public and private land in 2015. The study found that climbers spend an estimated $3.6 million annually in 6 counties around the gorge. Much of that was for lodging, food, retail purchases, and recreation activities.
Spring is finally sprung in the bluegrass, and now it's time to start decorating for the season.
Our Deanne Stevens is out and about at the front porch with some ideas. Hey, Deanne.
Good afternoon, guys. We are here at the front porch, and we are ready for spring. Heck, I'm ready for summer already. But here at the front porch, all things are coming up spring. Dana Corman is with us. And you said when you talk about going to someone's home and sprucing things up for spring, there are so many simple things you can do. We talked about just lighting a nice beachside candle, the new fragrances you guys have, or putting something on the front door. Now, what are these? These are so popular. I see them everywhere.
The front door is the first thing you see when you go to someone's home. Get your first name initial or your family initial on the front door.
Or you can get both, right? You guys pick these out for me? Sure. D and an S. And you guys can do any color. You custom do these too.
The colors primarily black and white. There is available pink, blue, and lime green.
Okay, and that's a fun way to just put something on the front door. What else do you guys have here at the front porch? You've got everything from different little pillows you can switch out on your couches, your happy everything plates.
We do, and lots of things with letters, so you can personalize your room, your home, your life.
That is so popular right now, isn't it? Monogram everything. Monogram everything. Laura is with us now from the front porch. I'm going to give you those, Dana. Let's talk lily, because when you think about spring and sprucing up your home for spring, Lily Pulitzer, the colors are magnificent, and that's what everybody thinks about, right? All of the different
vibrant colors, the fun patterns, all of that kind of stuff. We have the different pillows with all the different colors, the pom-poms, the fringe, which is really popular right now.
I was going to say, those are new, aren't they?
Yes, those are the new patterns with the pom-poms and the fringe attached to those. And we also have the cups, the wine glasses, the coolers, all that kind of stuff, which can also be personalized. So, yeah, you can personalize anything and just get you ready for spring with all the fun and all the colors.
Great little spring gifts too. I'd like one of everything. Tell folks where you guys are located.
We are located on Sarin Drive, right next to the Walmart.
Tates Creek South. Come on out to the front porch and spruce up your home for spring. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Dan. Anything to make it feel a little bit more like spring, I'll take it.
I'll take it as well. Done.
Batman vs. Superman dominates at the box office, and the main actors of those 2 new films reflect on national headlines.
Suzanne Marquez has your eye on entertainment.
Fans of DC Comics flock to see 2 superheroes battle it out on the big screen. Batman vs. Superman raked in $170 million in its opening weekend. The Gladiator matchup stars Henry Cavill as Superman, Ben Affleck as Batman, and Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. Mariah Carey canceled her planned concert in Brussels Easter night following last week's terror attacks there. The singer posted on Twitter that she had been advised to cancel the show to protect the safety of her crew and fans. The show has not yet been rescheduled. A new comedy, Meet the Blacks, opens later this week.
This is it. Our new home.
The film follows a family who moves from Chicago to Beverly Hills looking for a better life. But old grudges surface when the film becomes a parody of The Purge and all crime is legal for 12 hours. Also in theaters Friday, God is Not Dead 2. Melissa Joan Hart plays a teacher who answers a student's question about Jesus.
And your answer incorporated the words of Jesus.
What were you thinking, Grace?
She then faces a court case that could end her career. Hart says she felt called to play the part.
Being a part of it was a real eye-opening experience for me as my walk with Christ went.
That's your eye on entertainment. Suzanne Marquez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Well, we are coming off an absolutely beautiful weekend. Here we are to start our work week, and that cooler air is back for us.
That springtime roller coaster seems like every year. Jim Caldwell is standing by. Jim, is it going to warm back up anytime soon?
We are going to see those warmer temperatures get back in here, guys. Probably starting as early as tomorrow. We make a run back into the upper 50s to right around 60 degrees. So we get a little surge and then more of a surge toward the middle of the week. Out there currently, we find ourselves in the mid 50s, which isn't bad. We're just a few degrees below average for this time of year. You work your way a little little more toward the east, and we'll watch those temperatures drop a little bit more across parts of northeastern and sections of eastern Kentucky. As we head through the rest of the evening and into tomorrow, check it out here. We're looking at mid-30s by early tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow back in those mid-50s by noon. We're not just going to hang around there. We're going to try to make a run into the upper 50s later on in the day, making for a really solid looking day for you guys, and then into the 60s beyond that. That's all we've got for weather. Now here's Officer Don with a check of traffic.
Live look at Lexington rush hour traffic this afternoon, and overall traffic flows pretty light right now considering spring break. That's helping out a whole lot on the Circle, on the interstate, and even Nicholasville Road. Got some red outbound Nicholasville Road approaching the Circle, so no real surprise there. As far as drive times go, it's a shorter ride out to Nicholasville at the moment. We've been averaging about 12 minutes. Looks like to Paris, normal on Paris Pike. Police are running radar, though. About 20 minutes there to Winchester's 24 and 23 to Richmond. Now back to you in the studio.
Officer Don, thank you. Britain on a roll and a bar turned ball pit. It's the video that will have you talking. Take a look at this.
Easter eggs weren't the only things rolling this weekend. Britain just rolled its way into a world championship. The annual Marbles Championship drew big crowds in West Sussex this Easter weekend. The reigning champions from Germany were knocked out by a team from Northern England in the semifinals. The World Marble Championship organizer said the game's been around for hundreds of years.
I mean, the appeal of marbles to me is the fact that they're so lovely. You get a big handful of coloured glass marbles and run them through your hands. They're so tactile, so lovely. And with the game itself, it's so skilled.
Here is a quick lesson on the rules of marbles. 49 marbles are placed inside a concrete circle, 6 feet in diameter and covered in sand. Players get a point for each marble their tally, a shooting marble, knocks out of the ring. The first team to get to 25 points wins.
I usually just roll them around and let them go.
You know.
That's about it. All right. Usually children are the ones allowed to play in those awesome ball pits, but this one is just for adults. Finally, a nonprofit turned a San Francisco bar into the biggest ball pit the city has ever seen. The Romper Room was filled with 40,000 balls, and adults 21 and older were invited to indulge their inner child. The event was sold out quickly, but those lucky ticket holders definitely had a ball. Sean Moody, I want to know, would you take part in that?
Absolutely. It just adds a whole new dimension to the whole ball pit.
Oh, see, I'm just going to watch you jump right in. There you go. On that note, please stick with us. Here's what we're working on for you now at 5 o'clock.